Hey everyone, Miranda Pitrone back here with you to do our 3D snowflake. I'm super excited to show this one because it's so cute. I want to do more of them. I even got a Christmas tree one, so who knows what will be coming up next. I hope you enjoy it. I did put the dotting tool one, then the brush one, and then I just did a sped up round of the other two sides throughout, but then at the end I'm going to show you how to varnish it and click them on together, and then a couple ways I hung them afterwards to check them out. So stick with me and feel free. It's not super long altogether, but I think at about the 16, maybe 15-minute mark is where the third one starts. So if you've already got it from the first two designs, you can feel free to fast forward ahead to the varnishing and we can chat from there. Alrighty, in the survey, you all said show both the dotting tools and the painting with the brush. So I'm going to do both, but I think more people use the dotting tools for now. So we'll start off with the dotting tool. So I have a stylus, just a stylus that has a ball on the end. I bent them myself. I have a video for that on my channel here if you're looking to do that. And it's just on an angle, so it holds a little more paint and I can see where I'm placing the dots. So we have this little snowflake. It's wood. I painted it black background, and we are using metallic pearl white. It's going to be monochrome, and then this is an etcher. So I did the dot, I placed the dot, and then I'm just going to drag out that dot with the etcher. And it gives it a nice, cute little tail there. So you'll see I swirl it around a little bit. And then I make sure that the paint's wicking, following the tool, so that it gives you that tail. So again, you see I just load the paint. This is the small end. And I just want to show you here, you don't have to use the etcher. You can use just the dotting tool to drag the paint out as well. So if that's all you have are the angled styluses, then you just use the small end and drag the paint out and just grab it, make a tail, and pull it down to where you want it. So this is the etcher or the tool. It doesn't matter, either one. Small end of the dotting tool and drag it. We're just going to do that on the end of every other one of these arms of the snowflake. You can see the ones in between are a little bit shorter, so we're just going to do a different design on each. Swipe. One more here. See, I'm just kind of attaching the tool to the piece to get the paint to drag out. And then the next row down on this arm is just 2 dots. Again, this is all monochrome. We're not going to have to switch any colors. It's all the metallic pearl white. And then in between those two, we're just going to do a swipe right on down to the base of this arm. Arm, branch. I wonder what you call the sections of a snowflake. I'm going to have to look that up. So the arms are called dendrites, which means tree-like, just like on your nerve endings. So not only are we learning painting and having fun community time, it's vocab lessons as well, because I love learning words and languages are just super fascinating to me. So, plus I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I didn't know. All right, so we're doing a little triple tree of swipes here at the base of each dendrite. And then just so I know where to stop, I'm just putting a dot at the bottom here where the center connects that dendrite, the arm, to the center, where the center connects with the arm. And then on these shorter ones, I'm just gonna do dots at the end of each and then a walking of the dots down. So this one is where our split is, so we're just gonna skip doing the split. No dots for that, no walking the dots on that one. And then we're just gonna dot here and then we'll walk the dots out. Just kidding, I went on to the next arm. I'll remember. In order to keep the same size dots, I was just redipping it because sometimes you don't get enough paint on the tool. That time I got too much. So you'll see. But this one is kind of an odd area too. It's a little bit of a different branch on this. So I'm still going to walk the dots out and we'll make it look like the other ones. So our mandala is mostly symmetrical. And then our line. So even with this tool, you'll see too, we'll do a swipe down for the last branch of the arm. And I know just from experience that this much will drag out for this space. So if you need to, you can always just practice on the side on a piece of paper just to see how much paint you are allowing to drag out on the tool. And then we're going to do these little ovals down the base here. So this is not an oval tool. So basically I'm just going to, so you could use this like the petals. This is the large oval tool, but it won't fit. It's way too big for this area. So I'm just going to use my ball stylus and really all I do is draw an oval. Just kind of, instead of doing a dot, see how it's just elongated? Just drawing a little oval in there. And this one around the split just to make it uniform with our design. I'm going to tuck it right in there. So you don't need all the specialty shapes. You can do this, just draw an oval. Here's your close-up. And then we're just pushing the paint around into an oval to fit that space. See, we did it. All right. All right, so this is our brush version of the same design. It's just a liner brush, nothing fancy. In fact, it's super old and dirty, so don't mind it. It's just well shaped, so I like this one. But with these, you're just going to take your time and press down and drag out your tail on each of these comma strokes, swipes, swooshies, whatever you want to call them. You'll see even sometimes when I'm doing it, this paint's a little bit thicker, so like the tail part will be a little bit thicker. So part of it for your design, it's just personal preference. If you want the tail to be thinner, I'd have to lift up a lot more and kind of flick it with this. But even because the paint is thicker, my tails will be a little bit thicker, which is fine. But we're just doing our triple swipe at the top here again on the longer arms of each snowflake. I'm just going to call them arms. Dendroids is too long for me to say, but it's fun. It's fun to know. All right, and I just find it a little easier now that I already know what I'm doing for design to go a little bit faster, but we can slow it down or pause as needed, of course. I won't know the difference. It's you watching it. So this is the other one. See the two holes at the top? This is the one that your tie for the ornament is going to go through. So we're just going to have to be aware that that's around the split as well for this one when we're painting. And with the brush, walking the dots is a little different. It's not harder. You can get the hang of it, I promise. It's just to push down harder to drop more paint off for the larger dots and then start to lighten up as you get towards the center. So smaller dots just is less pressure. Bigger dots, more pressure or more paint. Obviously both. So you're just lightening up and using the end of the liner brush as you get to the end. And this is that one that's a little different, but we're still going to make it look the same as the others. These kind of remind me of dominoes for some reason, or train crossings. Traffic light, train crossing, something like that. Okay, so for the ovals, the liner brush, you just push it a little farther down. So this one, I have used it for a while for this, so you can see it's a little curved, but you'll get the hang of it. Or you can use a flat brush, a beveled brush. It's just getting the hang of how your brush will make the ovals. So just kind of paint it into place. So those two holes there, remember, we just got to figure out. Not going to put the ovals there because I can't. It would leak down in the hole and look messy. So we're just going to avoid the ovals on that section, which I think once we put the snowflake together, it's not going to matter. Okay, so this is a longer swipe out for this part. Do our little triple. Connect them all in at the tails. Longer out and then connect. Thank you so much for all your input on deciding which sections of this video to use. I'll just place the end ones that I did because I did it 4 times, the same design. And I did the other ones using the brush and I think the etcher. So I'll just put a speedy, faster clip after all this so you can see that too. But just so you get the idea here of the dotting tool versus the brushes on the same design. There's no more prestige in brushes or tools or whatever. It gets the job done. It's what you're more comfortable using. If you're more practiced with the tools, I would say stick with the tools. They work really well. And nobody's going to know at the end, unless you're making videos, what you actually used. So. And fill this down to the center here with another swipe in. Also, the beauty of the black background is that if you don't like what you put down for paint, you can scrape it off and just paint the black back over it to fix it. It's not a big deal. You're not ruining anything. You didn't waste money buying ornaments. It's all good. It's going to be great. All right, so here's my sort of speedy version on through. It looks like some of it got cut off anyway. So this is me just using the brush and then using the metal end of the etcher tool to scrape it out into a tail for the design. And then of course we have the ovals, where you're just pushing down on the brush to make the oval shape. I find the brushes are pretty easy to work with to fix a shape. Like if I went awry on that, I could just kind of fix it. But also with the dotting tools, you can just draw it into the oval shape like I showed. So, or if you don't like it, you can paint your black background over it again and try again. So after I finish up all the sides of these, so it'll be 4 sides all together, then I'll show you how they click together on that stripe right there, the strip. It looks like a smiley face at the top. There's some name for that too, like where you see faces and things. It's your second word of the night. That is pareidolia. That's when you see faces and inanimate objects. Anyway. So I was saying I will put the 2 snowflakes together after I varnish them. So I'll varnish them on here so you guys can see too, because I use the Liquitex Professionals, and I've had a lot of people asking about it lately, how to use it, why does theirs get cloudy, what do you do about bubbles, all that kind of stuff. But mostly it's just you don't want to overwork the varnish. And this one's almost done. I feel like I should read you guys a poem or sing you a song or something. Maybe it just feels weird on my end being quiet, sitting here watching it. Then the last side. I guys believe it's already November. I can't believe it. Maybe you can mention in the comments one thing that you've learned this year that you didn't know before. Besides the 2 words I just taught you, that doesn't count. Alright, let's speed this little guy up a little. And there it is all finished, that last one. Now let's take a peek at both of them next to one another. They kind of remind me of Pitrone cookies. But you see, after we varnish them, we'll click them together. So we did both sides, same design. Let them dry thoroughly. And then we'll go on to the varnish. Super excited. The varnish I use is Liquitech Professionals. This one is high gloss, and I just use a sponge brush usually. All right, so I just have a rack like this from the Dollar Tree. These are great for that. And then I soak the brush pretty well because you don't want to dry brush it on, it'll leave streaks. And then I kind of just do a couple of puddles on whatever I'm working on. It's my technical term, puddles. And then just gently, you're going to spread it out as fast as possible, kind of just making sure that you're thoroughly getting it on every single bit of it without overworking it. Because if you keep working it, it'll put bubbles in it, put streaks in it, it'll start to dry and get tacky. I mean, you have a little bit of time. It's not super rushed, but it's good to get it on there as quick as possible. And this design, honestly, is a challenge because it has all these holes. So I'm going to have to double check the other side too because I don't want drips collecting on the back. I mean, it's a little bit of finessing. So don't lay them flat. If there's anything wet on the back, it will peel up. It does get odd. So you'll see I'm actually going to stick these standing up right on the wire rack because they already have the slit on them and I just don't want them touching. I'm just gently working it all over the whole space. A pretty liberal amount. And see, this had drips, so I don't want to set that down. I don't want to lay that down. I want to make sure that it's like somewhat dry to the touch before it gets laid on a surface. So this wire rack is actually perfect. I didn't plan that. It's perfect for this though, because you'll see I'm just gonna stick them on the rack where that little slit is, and then they can stand up. And just make sure, because this one had drips too. So like I said, I don't want to leave it. We gotta babysit it a little bit. And see my ocean picture in the background. I'm in the basement again, so I gotta have some sort of good view. But see, these slits click right onto this wire rack, which make it the perfect drying rack for these. I don't even know how that worked out. Just divine intervention. So thank goodness. So these are them all nice and shiny and dry. See the Christmas tree underneath. Psst. Sneak peek. So it was a little thicker putting them together once I had all my layers of paint and the layers of varnish. So you'll see I'm going to struggle a little bit and I don't want to break them. So I'm just trying to kind of finagle them into place and then click them together. And also some of the dots on that weird one section, they don't even show because it was meant to be covered up by the slit on the other one. So I didn't really engineer that in my brain too well, but I was so excited to paint them, I couldn't wait. I got it together. I have some twine. I'm debating ribbon or some other hanger. Or maybe even jute. That might work too. I threw some fairy lights on it. I was messing around, but let me show you outside. It's green. See how green it was? It was a nice night. And I think I might have jinxed Ohio or something because then boom, this morning, I was like, oh, I'll hang it in the natural light and see, which is super cute. The natural lighting's way better. I don't know, way better. I kind of like it with the fairy lights on it, but I was a little distracted because now I have a snowy background for it. Sorry, Ohio. But yeah, I do like it with the fairy lights. I think it'll look great once you put it on a tree too, around the lights. I'm kind of excited about these, so I'm off to do the Christmas tree one probably next because I'm super excited. I hope you enjoyed it as well. I will post the links as always in my description for the video, and if you're looking for more of my videos, I have tons of older ones on YouTube. I'm trying to get out some more newer ones for you, so just hit the subscribe button if you're new and the bell, and you'll be notified when new ones come out. Alright guys, I am so happy to be back here with you. I can't tell you that enough. Thank you. Happy painting.